TEKS 12A, function versus not a function notes. So on the notes, we're going to write that a function, is only a function if the x values do not repeat. So this is very important. I'm going to go ahead and underline it in a different color. X values do not repeat. So a function is only a function if the x values do not repeat. So let's look at some examples. We have 4 different functions that we're going to look at today. So the first one just looks like a set of points. And remember, our points are x, comma, y. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to every single one of my points, x, comma, y. So when we're looking at a function like this, we have to see if any of the x values repeat. So I'm going to go ahead and circle all of my x values. So I have a 1, a 3, a 1, and a 2. Notice that these ones right here and here repeat, so that means this is not a function. So not a function. It would only be a function if the x's did not repeat. Okay, let's look at the next example. The next example is called a function map. So again, we're looking to see if the x's do not repeat. Notice that this whole side right here is our x's, and this whole side right here is our y's. So how we can view this is we can turn this into points. So this is saying -2 maps to -1. That's the same as saying -2, comma, -1. Same with 3. 3 maps to 0. That's the same as saying 3, comma, 0. 4 maps to 0 and 2 and 4. So we have to write that 3 separate points. So 4 maps to 0, 4, comma, 0. 4 maps to 2, 4, comma, 2. And 4 maps to 4, 4, comma, 4. And then our last one is 10. That maps to 6, 10, comma, 6. So again, we're going to look at our x values. So notice that these 4's repeat, so this is not a function. We can also tell that here on the map. Notice how this 4 goes in 3 different directions. It goes to the 0, it goes to the 2, and it goes to the 4. So that means our x's repeat. Okay, let's look at our third example. Our third example is going to be a graph. So this is a graph of a circle. And how we determine if graphs are functions is if we use the vertical line test. So I'm going to go ahead and write that above here. Change my color. So vertical line test. So the vertical line test tells us if we draw a vertical line, we know it's a function if it only hits one point. So I'm going to write that. So it's a function if our line hits only one point on the graph. I'm going to go ahead and underline only one point. It's very important. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my vertical line. My vertical line can go through anywhere on the function. It could go through here. There's a vertical line. It could be over here. It doesn't really matter where we're drawing our vertical line. But I just want to point out when we draw our vertical line, notice that our line crosses the graph here and here. On every single line, look, it crosses at the top and it crosses at the bottom. Crosses at the top and crosses at the bottom. So that means that with the vertical line test that we crossed at 2 points. So since we crossed at 2 points, this is not a function. Because we crossed at 2 points. Okay, let's look at our last example, which is a table. So in our table, again, we're looking to see if the x's repeat. And remember, when we're looking at a table, this first column will always be x, and this second column will always be y. So I'm going to look down the x column to see if any of my x's repeat. So I have 3, 4, 5, 4, and 10. Notice I got 2 4s. That means my x's repeat. So then this is not a function.